Hey friends, welcome to our digital Newcomers event. Man, we can't wait to be with you in person.
Totally. Yeah.
I can't wait to meet you, and we know that this isn't quite how it could be, but we also know that it's just a taste of what's to come.
Yeah.
And I guess that's good news. My name is Emily, and I'm on Team Community here at Melbourne.
And my name is Dave. I get to be the community director here. And as part of Team Community, it's our job to help this church feel like a home, and to help this community feel like a family. And we're aware that's not really a simple task right now when everything's digital and we're all so scattered. So we're really grateful that you tune in to a Newcomers event like this, and we can't wait to meet you face to face, to buy you a coffee, to hear your story, and to welcome you in a little more personally than we're doing right now. But nevertheless, from the bottom of our hearts, welcome. It's great that you're here.
It's really great that you're here. And if you're new, which you probably are, you might be wondering, why is it called City on a Hill? It's a bit of a weird name. It's not one that is normal, especially within the Anglican services. Churches, normally it's Saint something. And yet, about 10 years ago, we decided we really need a new name. We started as a church in Docklands called Docklands Church. Pretty original, I think. But we always wanted to be a church planting church, and we always wanted to be able to go and plant churches elsewhere, and a name that's locked to a location makes it a little bit trickier to do that. And so the pastors and the leaders got together, opened the Bible, and were like, well, what do we call our church? Where does our identity come from? And it comes from Matthew chapter 5, one of my favourite passages, because it really speaks to who we are as a church and who we are as the individual members that make up the body. Let me read it for us. You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven.
You'd be amazed how often people ask me, what is the hill that City on a Hill sits on? And the answer is, there is no hill. It's from Matthew 5.
Yeah.
And the thing about a city on a hill, the thing about salt, the thing about light, are that they are distinct. They're not separate from the thing they're a part of. Salt is not separate from food, but they're distinct. They bring something special to it. And so we want that to be true of our church. We want to be a city within the city that God has placed us. Part of what's going on, but also distinct from it as we try and shine the light of the gospel into Melbourne, into Brisbane, into Geelong, Gold Coast, and everywhere else that God places us.
Yeah, because we believe that there is intentionality with where God has put us. If every Christian worked for a church, we wouldn't be in the world, and we wouldn't be able to be as distinct. And so there's opportunity with that. Obviously, you're at home right now, and so it might feel like your opportunity is limited, but actually it's not. God knew that you would be there. The call for mission is still on us to know Jesus and to make Jesus known. And so maybe we're in a season where we're just getting to know Jesus a little bit more, so that when we come out of lockdown, we are very equipped to make him known. And that's really exciting, knowing that when we all come together, we're going to have new parts of our family joining us because of the time that God is using right now for his kingdom.
And it is one of my favourite things when someone joins the fold of God's kingdom, when someone becomes a new brother or sister, they're adopted in to God's family.
Yeah.
And we get to celebrate that a couple of times each year with baptisms. We go to a beach, it's either very hot or very cold, inevitably. It's never medium weather. It's always awful or awesome.
Yeah.
But it's a fantastic time as a family where we gather and celebrate that God gives the gift of new life.
Yeah.
As people publicly declare that they have died with Christ as they go under the water, and they've been risen with him as they come up again. So it's my favourite thing to see people get baptised. And we want to share that with you just a little bit. Here's a video celebrating some of our recent baptisms.
Baptism is this public demonstration of our union, our oneness with Christ. That as Jesus was taken into death, so we enter the waters of baptism by faith to signify the death of sin that he accomplished on our behalf. And as we come up out of the water, we declare our new and glorious, victorious life that we now have in Jesus. And it is this life that these brave men and women declared boldly, passionately, and publicly. It is this life that Jesus wants for you. See, the good news of Easter is not only that Jesus is crowned with glory and power, but that in him you can receive his crown of life. You can receive his crown of love. You can receive what the Bible calls the crown of righteousness. Big 30 on the beach.
I love baptisms.
They're the best.
They really are the best. You would have seen a little baby getting baptized in there. That's Eden, Dave's daughter.
She hated every minute of it.
But we all loved it.
So grateful that she got baptized. It was great. Yeah.
It was really great.
Yeah.
It was a really special moment, and they always are. It's always so special to be able to see people declaring that they want to love and follow Jesus. And I think that that's really beautiful and something that I'm glad we celebrate as a church well. So we can't wait to do it soon. If you are watching this thinking, I really want to get baptized, I haven't, please let us know. Please email me and just, let me know so that we can help you connect in with the baptisms when we do eventually get to have them, hopefully soon, down at the beach.
Now, one of the things I love about being at a big church is that when we gather on Sundays in the same room, it's a fantastic time.
Yes.
Singing loud with 300-400 other people, just a wonderful moment.
Yeah.
The problem with doing that is we don't all fit around a dinner table, which means really belonging here at City on a Hill, getting to know people deeply. Doesn't always happen on a Sunday for everyone, but there are a heap of other ways to get deeply connected into this church. So here's a few of our friends to let you know about some of those ways.
My name is Britt and I work here at City on a Hill, Melbourne, and I work on the community team, which, as you can probably guess from the name, we are super passionate about people and about community. And I'm guessing that you are too. One of the things that makes a really great church is great community. And here at City on a Hill, we completely agree. We think that life is better when we do it together. And look, I'm even more convinced of that in a global pandemic. As we have not been able to have that same connection with people, I think we've come to really appreciate what a gift it is to actually get to do life with each other. And so that's something that we really aim to do at City on a Hill, is to do life together. And there's a whole range of ways that we do community, but one that I really want to tell you about tonight, and probably the best way if you want to be part of community, is to be part of a gospel community. So what a gospel community is, these are small groups that meet during the week. Normally in a non-pandemic world, we meet in homes all across Melbourne. At the moment, we are meeting in Zoom rooms all across Melbourne, and we gather in these smaller groups. And first and foremost, we are about the gospel. You probably got that because they're called gospel communities. We are all about Jesus. We are all about knowing him and making him known in these groups. And so what that looks like is it means that we get into God's word together. We try and understand it, we wrestle with it together, and we try and live it out and really encourage each other to do that. And so our groups have a lot of prayer as well, as we really take that time to share with one another and to spur one another on to living wholeheartedly for Jesus. The other thing I would say about our gospel communities is we say here that we want them to be, the dream is that they are communities of life, love, and maturity. So we have a really big vision for gospel communities, is that this is a group that you do life with. Our hope is this is a group where you are seen and you are known, and that you really get to know one another really well, and you're doing all of life together. So it's more than just that time that you meet during the week. I don't know about you, I don't have my family in Melbourne. I really miss them. And I'm guessing a lot of you don't have your families here as well. And so I guess the hope is that your gospel community will kind of function like a little family, in that it's a place where you get to really celebrate with one another the wins of life and the good things. Our gospel communities usually involve lots of food and lots of cake and lots of celebrations. And on the flip side, just like family, we also hope that your gospel community is a place that you can cry together and mourn together. This year's been hard. I think we all know that, and our hope is that our gospel communities can also be that place that you come where you can just be honest and real, and that we can go through hard things and support one another in that. And so that is our hope for gospel communities, is they are communities about Jesus, communities where we are doing life together, communities where we are loving one another deeply. So if you want to make City on a Hill home, and I really hope that you do, I would say just one of the best first steps you can do is to be part of a gospel community. Our Sunday services I really enjoy them, and they are a good thing, but they're quite big, and at the moment being digital, we can't have that same interaction with people that we normally would on a Sunday. And so being part of a gospel community is just a place where you can really get to know people. It's where you can dig deep into God's word with one another, and so yeah, I would say definitely sign up for one. We would love for you to be part of one, but just please know that I can't recommend it highly enough. And I look forward to hopefully getting to meet you all in person one day, either through AGC or on a Sunday.
My name's Dave Horn. I'm the Services Coordinator here at City on a Hill, Melbourne, just to share a little bit about what community on a Sunday looks like as part of our COVID church services. And so I'd love to tell you about two really good spots for you to get to know other people from the church in as close as a face-to-face way as we've got at the moment. And that is after our 9 a.m. service and before our 11 a.m. service, we have a Zoom room set up for people just to hang out and to talk about anything and everything and anything. And also after our 6 p.m. service, there's a spot to do that as well. They are good opportunities just for you to feel the awkwardness of face-to-face conversation again. That's one thing that COVID has starved us of, and that is just social awkwardness. We just don't have any of that. I'll do my best to make this a little bit awkward so you can get a taster of that. But I think one thing I've realized from our series in 1 Corinthians is that the importance of the church people. Christianity isn't just between you and God. God has actually called us to be a community of people who worship Him. And that means that we have relationships with people that we don't know, that are a little bit different to us. And that's exactly how God designed it. It's weird and it's uncomfortable, but that's what God wants. And I think if you've been around church community for long enough, you'll realize, yeah, look, it's a bit weird, but it's actually really great. There's something really endearing about being with people who aren't exactly like you, but all love Jesus. And so I want to encourage you just to jump onto Zoom in those time slots. The Zoom link is coah.co/melb-zoom. Someone's going to write that down for you because it's a difficult one to remember. But head along to that link from like 9:30 a.m., 10:30 a.m. till 11, and then from like 7:30 p.m. till 8. That half an hour on Zoom, sometimes it's just chatting, sometimes there's games that we hold. I know Sunday nights are turning into a bit of a games time, just to do something a little bit more structured and to have some fun in our week. But they're really good places to get to know the people that call City on a Hill Melbourne home and their church family. Plenty of staff and pastors will be hanging out there, so it's a good opportunity to get to know who your leaders are, as well as just to make some new friends. And so if you want to come along and contribute in a big way, then there's space for you to do that. But if you also just want to come along and just turn your video on and just kind of sit there and be amongst community, that's totally fine as well. One thing I've really appreciated in this time is just these little pockets of time to just be around others who are talking, even if I'm not doing the talking. That's very rare. But in the cases that I'm not doing the talking, it's still nice just to hear other people having conversations about things that aren't going on inside my own head. So make the most of that. get to know who City on a Hill Melbourne is, not just what it is, but who it is. And it'll be great. We'd love to see you there. I'd love to see you there. I'll be there almost every Sunday because that's what I do on Sundays. But yeah, I'd love to meet you guys there. Hope you can make it and you can add a little bit of that to that social awkwardness. And it'll be fun. We'll forgive you and we'll love you for it. All right. Have a great night. Bye.
Hey there guys, my name's Joel and I'm the acting lead pastor at City on Hill Melbourne. And I just want to talk to you about 3 things. The first thing I want to talk to you about is the gift of prayer. The gift of prayer. I love 2 quotes when it comes to the gift of prayer. One is by Brother Lawrence, who says, "There is nothing sweeter in this life than a continual conversation with God." I love that. But I also love another quote by a guy called Samuel Chadwick, who says that the devil's number one concern is to keep Christians from praying. Prayer is powerful. Prayer is a gift. And in this time of, COVID-19 and us being in isolation, prayer is, I think, a spiritual discipline that each of us should be thinking about and pressing into. We're gathering every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 a.m. and Thursday at 8 p.m. in our engine room to pray. We'll love you to join us in this endeavor as we learn and lean into the gift of prayer. That's the first thing. The second thing I wanted to talk about is the book of Psalms. Here at City on a Hill, we love the scriptures, we love the Bible, and we go through the Bible week in, week out throughout the year. We do some topical series, but our bread and butter is explaining the scriptures and how it is relevant and meaningful and beautiful to our lives today. In September, for spring, we are looking at the Psalter. In other words, the book of Psalms. Personally, I'm super excited about this series because I think for far too long, churches have butchered the Psalms by doing a summer series on the Psalms when no one's around and getting amateur preachers to get up and try and give it a crack, and they're opening, poetry and art and having no idea how to teach it. Which is why, as a church, I'm excited that we are giving some time and energy to dig into this beautiful, poetic, life-changing book. And so if you're someone who reads the Bible, I encourage you to start reading through the Psalms as we study it together. So I want to talk about prayer, I want to talk about Psalms, and the third thing I want to talk to you about is giving. Here at City on a Hill, you might not know this, but we are completely dependent upon the generosity and the giving of God's church, of the saints, of those who are committed towards this mission of knowing Jesus and making Jesus known. And so City on a Hill is going to come your home. Can I encourage you that you may be praying for the mission, that you may serve on the mission, but also you may give towards this mission. For more information about how we spend our money or our finances or how to give, go to cityonahill.com.au/give. And finally, I just want to give an open invite out to any of you guys out there that if you love to chat and pray, learn more about Jesus or about our church, please reach out to myself as well. I'd love to have a chat over Zoom these days. We can't do a coffee, I suppose. To reach out to me, just email me at joeldeacon@cityonahill.com.au. God bless.
Those are just a few of the faces who are committed to knowing Jesus and making Jesus known here at City on a Hill, Melbourne, and we really want you to connect in as well. It might feel a little bit weird right now, and the thought of going into a Zoom room for a gospel community sounds a little bit intimidating, but I can promise we had new people join ours the first week of lockdown about 6 months ago, and it was actually really awesome. And I think that they've stuck around, so I think they think so too. And so I really want to encourage you to be able to connect in. We obviously just went through a bunch of different ways, and that might feel overwhelming, but even just to be able to pick one will be really great, and we would love to help you do that.
Yeah, and let me say thanks again for tuning in to our Newcomers Night. I hope it's not too weird to say, but we've been praying for you already, and we will keep praying for you as you connect in to the community here. We really hope that we can help you know Jesus and make Jesus known, and we really hope that if you make this your church home, it's a fantastic place where you experience all the benefits of being part of our family, and you love Jesus more at the end of it. Yeah, that's the goal here. That's what we want to do. That's the church we want to be, and we want you to be a part of it. We want you to be a part of the family here. So we'll see you soon. Hopefully. Hopefully we'll see you soon. But until then, keep trusting Jesus and wash your hands. And it's going to be great. Bye. See ya.